Last night at about 2 in the morning, I received an email from PayPal and then Venmo a few minutes later saying that they basically permanently banned our accounts. We've never gotten a violation before. They said that we violated, though, their user agreements. I mean, we're just an organization that is comprised completely of gay people. We even have a few trans people within our organization, just trying to fight this evil that is happening in the name of LGBTQIA, you know, the whole alphabet mafia now.
So your position is just leave the kids out. You know, do your thing. Don't sexualize children, don't mutilate children. That seems like a very mainstream position.
And, you know, they say that they took our account down for discriminatory behavior. But I think that that's exactly what they did to us. I mean, no other LGBT organization would ever be banned from their platform as if they fell in line with this, you know, agenda. But we don't, and we're not scared by this. We're not intimidated. We're not going to stop. It only makes us stronger.
Welcome back to the channel today, everyone. So Big Tech has seemed to take a coordinated assault at the Gays Against Groomer Coalition. But before I get into that, our sponsor today is the Tuttle Twins books. In a world where teachers seem to prioritize teaching wokeness to your kids, you have to take your child's education into your own hands. The Tuttle Twins have books that teach them history, sound money, personal freedoms, and more. Use the link in the description and get your books today. Also, if you're in Atlanta, I'm speaking at an event this weekend. I'm doing a Q&A session with detransitioner Chloe Cole. It's an event for no left turn educations. Link will be in the description below. I would love to see you there. As well, next week on Tuesday, we are doing a panel in Richmond. Right after we screen the documentary What is a Woman? We have plenty of experts, and I am just excited to be part of it, and I hope to see you there. So lastly, if you watched my video last week on the WPATH guidance and you wanted to know more information, more of what I thought about it, I recently had an op-ed published in Human Events on Tuesday, so definitely go check that out. All those links will be in the description below. But now on to our topic. So I broke the story on Tuesday in the Post Millennial about PayPal and Venmo banning the organization Gays Against Groomers so they can't use their services anymore to transfer funds and receive donations. Just after 2 a.m. on Tuesday, Jamie, the founder of the group, received emails from both organizations within minutes of each other. They stated the group had broke their terms of service, but they didn't actually give any examples of what section of the terms of services that they actually broke. Then Wednesday night, Google decided to ban them from all their stuff too. So they took their email account, they took their Google Drives account, they just took everything offline. So there is no more Gays Against Groomers on Google either. Which seems very coordinated, doesn't it? It wasn't until they made a statement to the Advocate that it was for hate speech, to which again I asked, what is hate speech? And then LGBTQ Nation took it a little bit step further and called Gays Against Groomers an anti-trans hate group. And then that post subsequently got ratioed spectacularly. So I just have to say, I'm actually a contributor to Gays Against Groomers. The only thing that they are against is the medicalization of children and queer theory being taught in schools. So Jamie restated on Tucker Carlson Tuesday evening the quote that she gave me for the Post Millennial on Tuesday morning. PayPal and Venmo have made it abundantly clear that they support the sexualization and mutilation of children. This would never happen to an organization of LGBT people that fell in line with this evil agenda that has hijacked our community. And she's right. I mean, basically what this shows is that those on the left, they only care about our community as long as you fall in line, which is basically homophobic in itself. Just like when they claim that the word groomer in and of itself was anti-LGBT. That's actually homophobic because they are associating being gay with being a groomer. They're not the same thing. A groomer can come in all different shapes and sizes and sexualities. But once Gays Against Groomer actually came out, that kind of stifled that narrative, and so that didn't work. And as my friend David points out in a piece for Outspoken, Gays Against Groomer was basically formed because of that narrative. So now they are being transphobic by basically saying that being anti-groomer is anti-trans, thus equating trans people to groomers. Who's the transphobe? Because it's definitely not those that are against the mutilation and medicalization and indoctrination of children. And then also remember with Gays Against Groomers, they were banned from Twitter 4 different times, and then they had their account reinstated within 24 hours of each banning. So it's either that the tech companies have a coordinated mass ban on Gays Against Groomers, or it is a mass-scale reporting from social justice warrior activists and then causing those organizations to then ban them. Like, that's how canceling works. Like, when you say something and you step out of line from the given narrative, activists will go to your job, they will go to your platforms, they will try to basically dehuman you. They will get you completely fired and make it so you have basically nothing. That is how canceling works, and that's how cancel culture works. And so that's what we're seeing right now from big tech against organizations like Gays Against Groomers, Libs of TikTok, and others that are actually exposing what's happening and what the left is doing, basically mostly to children. And this comes at the same time as the new WPATH guidance has provisions in it that would recommend care for minors with or without parents. I released a reel with Outspoken on this on Friday. World Professional of Transgender Health, or WPATH, released their standards of care on Friday. And I have to say, the document, it's kind of interesting, and there's a lot that we can talk about with it. Like the fact that they added non-binary, intersex, and eunuch. Eunuch? Okay. But there's a lot we can talk about. But for this, I kind of want to point out one of the most problematic and, quite frankly, one of the most political statements that they make in the entire document. They say that parents should be involved unless it is determined to be harmful to the adolescent or not feasible. Now, they go on to say that not feasible essentially means that if they are in the foster care or the Child Protective Services custody. So we know other countries around the world and then states like California consider it abuse to not affirm a child's gender, to which they would then call CPS in to come take those kids. The last paragraph of this section, it seems to give providers the green light to go ahead and advise children to go to government in order to force care, thus taking away the rights of parents. We're going to see this provision used in order to justify new laws, and then we're going to see unethical health professionals continue to push irreversible procedures onto children who can't consent. And then my concern was verified by the author of that section at the WPATH conference.
A few things came to mind. I had to make a call to Child Protective Services on a case, and the Child Protective Services worker asked me about if some of the issues that I was calling about were about the parents not being supportive or being emotionally abusive around gender identity issues. And that was educative for me to learn that in my conservative state, there are at least some child protective service workers who are willing to enforce the need for affirmation by parents, at least with social transition needs, names, pronouns, etc. So that may be a resource in states, provinces, regions, countries around the world. So that's one thought. And even before making that call, like even letting parents know that if that's true where you are practicing, that might get their attention a little bit.
They will use the law to take and then transition your kids. It's disgusting, and it will only serve to hurt LGBT people. And then big tech censors us for pushing back against these ideas and exposing them. Then they try to silence and expose the fact that Vanderbilt admits that they started a child gender facility because it's a big moneymaker, something we've been saying on here for quite a while. We've known that one of the biggest things and the biggest drives for transitioning children is money. And Vanderbilt proved it in this reporting by Matt Walsh in the Daily Wire.
Insurance carriers are mandated to cover medical expenses for trans folks. How much money we think each patient would bring in, and this is only including top surgery, this isn't including any bottom surgery, and it's a lot of money. These surgeries make a lot of money. So female to male chest reconstruction can bring in $40,000. A patient just on routine hormone treatment, who I'm only seeing a few times a year, can bring in several $1,000s because that requires a lot of visits and labs. It actually makes money for the hospital. This is for a vaginoplasty. They're saying they're quoting roughly around $20,000 for a vaginoplasty, but that doesn't include your hospital stay, that doesn't include your post-op visits, that doesn't include your anesthesia, your OR. So I would think that this has to be a gross underestimate. I think that's just like the surgeon's piece of it, which anybody who's ever been in the hospital knows that that's like 10% of it. These are huge money makers. Again, I think this has to be an underestimate that they're quoting around $20,000 for a phalloplasty. There's been different things that I've read that said it could be up to $100,000. Dr. Winokur, who's our surgeon, says that there's entire clinics where the entire clinic is supported just by their phalloplasties, and that is like a fraction of the surgeries that they're doing. These surgeries are labor intensive, they require a lot of follow-ups, they require a lot of OR time, and they make money. They make money for the hospital.
I mean, they're not even hiding it anymore. They are saying the quiet part out loud, while big tech silences those of us who expose it. We have to get our own counter economy, or we'll be up a creek as they continue to ban us and remove all of our ways to be able to make money and accept money from those who support us. It's getting bad out there, and if you don't think it affects you, it does. It's all connected. It's a multi-level front on all issues. I'm just exposing a lot of what's going on with the queer theory and the LGBT issues. But you got to get involved. Get involved in organizations like No Left Turn Education or Moms for Liberties or a multitude of other organizations that are working in specific areas to create meaningful change, to defend against this given ideology that we're seeing pushed mostly to our children right now. Get involved. But with that, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Click that like and subscribe button. Support our sponsors. Follow me across all social media platforms, and I will see you next time.